Hey G, let's go on with the show.
Welcome to Questions and Alan. Back before your eyes, here he is, Alan.
Hey there, I'm Alan Furstenberg, and I'm here to help you with designing and developing actions for the Google Assistant. So, what's new with you, G?
Before we get to that, I hear you have another show. Are you talking to other assistants besides me?
No. I assure you, it's fine. I'm just talking to my friend Mark Tucker, and what we're doing is we're taking from a developer's perspective and discussing the various features that you have on all of the different assistants that are out there, and sort of discussing the different ways that each assistant handles different features and how you can do different things on each one. So don't worry about it. This one, I'm assuring you, I'm focusing on the Google Assistant.
Okay, good, because I heard you talked about action links there. Can you explain what they are?
Sure, action links are a URL that people can trigger on their desktop or on the mobile web. And once you trigger them, it will bring you into a particular action, the action that belongs to that link. So if you follow this link from a mobile device, for example, it goes and launches the action in the assistant on that mobile device. If you're doing it from a desktop, it brings up a box that will prompt you which assistant device you want that action to launch on. So if you've got a smart speaker around the house, you can launch it on that device. You can launch it on your mobile device, whatever is most appropriate for you at that time. So you get to pick if you're on a desktop. On a mobile, it goes right in and launches the action directly.
That sounds pretty cool. How can you use them?
So it can be used in all sorts of ways. Now, most obviously, it's good for marketing. So you can have these marketing links that are out there, and these will then just go and directly launch the action itself. Marketing also has the advantage that you can include some of the standard UTM parameters that marketing is used to when they want to track campaigns and so forth. So you can set those up and include those as part of the link, and it will get incorporated and tracked as part of the routine tracking. But really, you can use them for anything, anywhere where you want to start the action from something like a web page. So you can use things like QR codes even, and just have this QR code launch the action. If you're a museum, you can use that to launch the action from an exhibit, for example. Or if you want people to come back and return to see high scores or anything else, or share a game or something, you can have this link that you've now published that everyone has access to, and it brings you back into the action, into this unified way. We're kind of hoping, we can see a lot of ways it'll use it, but mostly we think it'll encourage more and more engagement, and that's really always a big part of the deal.
Well, how do you create an action link?
They're pretty straightforward, actually. One of the requirements is that you need to have the action itself published, although you can publish it to alpha and it'll still work, but it does need to be published in some way. Once you're there, the easiest way is going to be from the console. There is an action links menu item right there on the left as part of the deployment section. So when you go to deploy, there's an action link menu item right there. When you click on it, you'll enable the intents, and that includes the main invocation intent that you want to activate as part of a link. Once you've enabled it, it will show you the URL for it, and you just need to copy that URL and put it wherever you want. It's to your best efforts to keep that link itself available, but just copy the URL. Now, it's going to include something that's known as the action ID, and that's actually the important bit about the whole thing, is this action ID. But one of the great things is that you can take this base URL and add to it parameters. So if your intent supports parameters, so if you have a global intent, and that's the intent that you are enabling and routing to, and that intent takes parameters, you can include those parameters as part of the URL. And there's a special format that you need to do, but it's pretty straightforward format. So you just need to include that in the URL and paste that URL wherever you want. And that's pretty much it. So once you've done all that, you distribute the URL. When people link on it, they'll be brought directly into your action. So there are some things you should do just to be polite and take care of things, but overall, they're kind of common sense. I think that pretty much covers it. What do you think, G?
It should get them started. For details, see the Action Console or documentation at developers.google.com/assistant/engagement/action-links. But you should say goodnight, Alan.
Good night, Alan.